With the specter of the Jackal hanging over both their heads, it will be up to Miles Morales and Peter Parker to uncover another clone caper. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of the Spectacular Spider-Man issue number 2 and find out what happens next, shall we? Alrighty then, so if you remember in the previous issue, Peter and Miles had actually managed to uncover a charred corpse deep in the bowels of a secret Jackal laboratory on university property. This has become one hell of a mystery, so much to the point that an entire brain trust has been put together to try and figure out who or what this guy was. If you're a longtime Spider-Man fan like me, you'll of course recognize Carly Cooper. There's also some deeper cuts like Shari Sebbins, who was a detective character created by Tom Taylor for his short-lived Spider-Man run, as well as Jane freaking Foster the Valkyrie. Together, the three women are able to figure out that this guy didn't burn up in a regular way, he actually had his atoms exploded, so yeah, the mystery thickens for sure. In fact, a lot of this issue is mystery building, red herrings, and misdirection as we transition on over to Cedric, Miles' friend who we saw at the coffee shop in the last issue. He was down on his luck but took a mysterious job posting at the coffee shop. Now things have seemingly completely turned around as he is making out with Shelly, even though she's supposed to be the loving girlfriend of Kenny Kong. What's happening here, I wonder? And speaking of Kenny, we see him and the entire Cheers coffee shop crew when Miles once again meets up with Peter for their weekly hang session, and yes, that Cheers joke is definitely apt, as Peter has somehow managed to charm his way into talking everyone into the coffee shop into welcoming people by their names, because, you know, it's a little place where everybody knows your name. It's also a place with enough drama and intrigue to go around, starting with Dr. Raymond Warren, who actually turns away from his regular cup of coffee instead to have a cup of Darjeeling tea. Why is that interesting? Well, it was the favorite drink of his brother, Dr. Miles Warren, when he was alive. Why is he getting so nostalgic for his evil brother right now? I wonder. It's also here too, Cedric ends up getting shot down by Shelly, who has no memory of their previous makeout section, and the more and more he tries to push the subject, the more and more Kenny Kong gets pissed off to the point that he basically says, look man, we're taking this outside. Miles notes to Peter that his friend Cedric just isn't that sort of guy, and if this is going on right now, then surely there is something more deeper and sinister at the core of things, so they better investigate as the Spider-Man. We're also treated to another seemingly unrelated little aside wherein famous underworld loser Turk Barrett actually wins a fight with Daredevil for a change. We also hear mention of a place called the Arcadium. Arcadium, arcade games, a place where people can play and win for a change. Be it in love or in crime, you know what, if you had some tailor-made clones, I bet they would really make a service like that pop off, right? But you know, that's just me with a theory over here, a comic theory. I'm sorry, I'll show myself out. By the time Peter and Miles actually do suit up and track down Cedric in a back alley, they end up catching the eye of some mysterious individual who's watching them on closed-circuit television. The implication is this mystery man moves their entire Arcadium operation, meaning that Peter and Miles end up actually going on a wild goose chase into the New York sewer system, where they end up getting attacked by more clones of Vermin. Wow, I'm not used to seeing Vermin in a Spider-Man story when they're actively not trying to invoke Kraven's last hunt. This whole fight scene serves as another great opportunity for Miles and Peter to bounce off each other as Spider-Men. When Miles sees Vermin, he just thinks, Rat Man, right? No, his name's actually Vermin, it's a whole thing. Also, at least one of these rat men is very clearly a rat woman, a she-rat, if you will, only for Miles to say, oh come on Peter, we can do much better than that, let's not think so patriarchally. Peter says he'll try and do better, but he also says, yeah, try telling that to She-Hulk's face, why don't you? In the end, the Spider-Men actually end up getting met by Shift. If you don't know who this character is, he's actually Miles' own Good Nature clone left over from his own Clone Saga storyline. It seems that Shift has actually been coming uptown to try and help the Vermin realize they're better angels and actually become heroes defending the local homeless population, which is actually a really great idea. As Shift puts it, the Vermin clones didn't ask to be born, just like he didn't ask to be born, but that's no reason why they can't end up making the world a little bit better. Also, man, all these clones together in one story, it's a regular Clone Day afternoon over here. Surely this cannot be a coincidence, right? Well, maybe it's not, because as the comic comes to a close, Marv, the strange individual who was leaving those help wanted ads in the coffee shop, comes in once again, only this time looking to recruit Shelly and Kong. He even promises to pay them triple if they leave right now to become test subjects for the Arcadium, and because these two want to have their own place by this time next year, they agree. Because, you know, bills and debt really are the greatest villains of all. And so that was the Spectacular Spider-Man issue number 2, everybody, and while I certainly enjoyed this issue, man, this series really has its own unique sort of pacing, does it? It is just in no rush at all. Which, you know, is fine. Spider-Man can tell a good mystery story too, and it's something that the main Amazing books have neglected, so, you know, if Greg Weisman wants to really buckle down, have red herrings, have clues, and have us as the reader play along at home, I think there's definitely some fun to be had with that sort of story. But I also think there's a good chunk of the audience who, when they pick up a book starring Peter and Miles, want something a little bit more bombastic. Also, while I hope I'm wrong, I feel like I may totally have guessed what the twist is going to be before it actually has happened. Still though, for what it's worth, what I liked about issue 1, I like about issue number 2. Again, there's a nice, chill, laid-back vibe going on with this series. The stakes aren't really all that high just yet, and there's a lot of fun to be had and a lot of good material to be mined with Peter and Miles kind of exploring their own generation gap as two very different Spider-Man. Overall, though, I think I'd give this one a 7.5 out of 10. I'm certainly going to be back, but I hope they do kick in the turbos a little bit. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest, that's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, you know, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.